dad and I watched my mother fold laundry in the closet for 10 straight minutes. We talked to her, we joked with her, and we watched her rhythmic, familiar movements. The only problem? My mother was in the shower at the other end of the house. I was 12 years old. It was a stagnant summer afternoon in that specific way only summer can be when you're a kid, where time feels like it's stuck in amber. My dad was at his desk finishing up some paperwork, and I was lounging on the edge of his bed, rambling about a video game. It was a perfect, mundane moment. To our left, the walk-in closet door was open. My mom had an habit. When she cleaned, her hair went into a tight bun. Always. It was her work mode uniform. So when I glanced over and saw that familiar silhouette, the bun, the floral blouse, standing 6 feet back in the dim light of the closet, my brain didn't even skip a beat. I just thought, Mom. She was folding laundry. Pick up, fold, set down. Rhythmic, silent. My dad called out to her without looking up from his papers.
"Hey, Linda, did you see where my stapler went?"
Silence. The figure didn't pause. It didn't even acknowledge he'd spoken. He tried again, louder. "Linda, you okay in there?" Still, she just kept folding. We actually laughed at first. We thought she was just in the zone or maybe annoyed with us for being so loud. But as the minutes ticked by, the air in the room changed. It felt heavy, static. The mom in the closet, she was folding the same shirt over and over, fold, unfold, fold. My dad stood up. I saw his face shift from light-hearted annoyance to a strange, sharp mask of unease. He walked toward the closet. He was inches from the door now. "Linda!" And that's when we heard it. Not from the closet, but from the hallway behind us, a voice that made my blood turn to ice. "Why are you guys screaming my name?" My heart didn't just drop, it stopped. We turned. There stood my mother. Her hair was wet and hanging loose around her shoulders. She'd been in the shower for 20 minutes. My dad and I looked at each other, a look of pure, unadulterated terror, and then we whipped our heads back to the closet. Empty. It wasn't she ran away empty. It was physically impossible empty. There were no back doors, no space to hide, just shelves of clothes that were now deathly still. The figure, the thing with the bun and the rhythmic hands, had vanished the absolute millisecond the real Linda appeared. It was like a double exposure in a photograph that had suddenly been corrected. My dad didn't sleep that night. He spent it with a baseball bat, checking the locks, the attic, the crawl space. He never found a person. But what haunts me decades later isn't the ghost. It's the accuracy. That thing knew her blouse. It knew her housework hairstyle. It knew her rhythm. In folklore, they call them doppelgangers or fetch. In some cultures, they are omens of death. But I don't think it was an omen. I think it was a predator practicing. It was learning how to be her so perfectly that one day we wouldn't be able to tell the difference. We still live in that house. We keep the closet doors shut now. But sometimes, when I'm home visiting and talking to my mom, I catch my dad staring at her a little too long. He's looking for a glitch, a movement that's too rhythmic, a silence that lasts a second too long. Because we know now, just because it has her face doesn't mean it's her. Have you ever seen someone you knew who wasn't really there? Tell me your story in the comments. I read every single one. I need to know we aren't the only ones being studied.